Hey folks, welcome back to the Shadowcast. I mean Nerdcast, whatever. And here I am with my two co-hosts, Hope and Noah. What's going on, guys?
Not much, Grant.
So all three of us are anime nerds, huh?
I would probably be one of the anime nerds that's more art focused and writing focused and like character and like fandom base.
Right.
That's why I'm probably more mainstream than most other people, is because I'm more judging the mainstream than anything else.
And you're also an artist, and you do your own stories, your own comic strips, all that stuff.
Which I'm trying to post on to blogs on Tumblr, YouTube, and other platforms.
What's the name of that content you're creating?
Destiny Legend of the Protectors is probably coming out next year just because of what the heck is happening these past 4 years.
Right. Noah, you're a huge anime nerd. I know that for a fact. What's your favorite anime? What do you like about anime?
To be honest with you, I don't really know what my absolute favorite is. I can't really discern one specific favorite that I have. But I'm also do a lot of cosplay as well. Primarily focusing on things such as cyberpunk aesthetic and mostly vampirism a lot.
Right.
But if I was threatened with a shotgun, told which anime I wanted, I could only have one anime that I would want. It would be Cyberpunk Edgerunners currently.
So, what's your guys' opinion? I mean, you're all nerds. I know you, Hope, are...
Who's a nerd? You're the nerd here.
You have an obsession... Hope has an obsession with Transformers.
Transformers, Journey to the West, currently. Call it a hyperfixation for my neurodivergent butt. Basically, what is the fascination with anime is... What I've seen currently is the fact that it's a different art style and a different way of storytelling than modern, current storytelling right now.
I think anime was at its peak in the 90s, early 2000s. Not what we have now.
Yes.
Yes and no. It really depends on what you mean by that, because in the 90s, we see a lot of mecha. You saw a lot of...
Inuyasha was pretty big, too.
Some of the like that as well. Like a lot of really big romance ones that you hear about.
You
see a lot of those.
Dragon Ball Z.
Elemental Galad.
Mm-hmm.
That's an old
right.
one. You don't hear about that anymore.
Overlord, stuff
Overlord.
like that. Yeah.
A lot of those, pretty much.
I think there's also another... I also have been noticing that a lot of anime tropes are popping up in, like, fan fictions and books that I've currently am reading. My favorite type lately has been Izakid, which basically means being teleported to the past or teleported to the future, and that's not your timeline or anything like it. It's really good and a really good idea. I've done it with my own Destiny Legend of the Protectors. That's basically an Izakid story, just in a different way.
You mean like something like The Ambition of Oda Nobunaga? Something like that? Yeah, that's
it's kind of like that, except it's like the creator gets Izaki'd into her own make-believe universe and has to escape.
What about, like, Castle in the Sky, Kiki's Delivery Service, stuff like that? That's amazing art, okay?
Oh, no, trust me on that. That is amazing.
Okay, there's something...
That's what I mean, like, where 90s is the golden age of anime.
There's something to be said about anime and the art style. You have to appreciate how much work goes into every single detailed piece that is shown to you, because in the manga, it's only black and white. It's what you see on a newspaper for, like, Garfield and such. Anime artists literally have to pick apart every single scene and color each and every single attribute. And sometimes the anime profits off of it. Like Inuyasha, if you watch season 1 and then you watch season 8, the art style is totally different. Of course, they changed companies, so makes sense. But the art style changed over time through each and every single season. It stopped being the famous anime mouth flapping to actual expression and movement.
Yeah, but then you get anime like... What's you guys take on kids anime? Is it dumbed down or like...
Inuyasha is actually for third graders, I found out, and that is not a third grader show.
Not at all.
That has so much blood and death in it, and so much... I cried, like, during the Kikyo episodes, if that tells you anything.
Yeah.
And like, I've seen the characters in there go through some really gory stuff, and that's like, oh, it's a children's show. And I'm like... No, that is definitely not.
If you want a child show, like, think of that. What is that Blue Cat one? You guys know
Bluey and like
Sonic.
No, not that
No,
one.
Sonic the Hedgehog also just got updated to
Yeah, it did.
into an
It did
anime like
recently.
style too lately, and I'm just like,
Well, I mean, Sonic was always a Japanese.
yeah, it was
thing,
it's
though.
a
It was
Japanese
always a
business,
Japanese
so I'm not
business.
shocked about that.
Because I mean, it was part of Sega, and I mean, it's
Still,
unfortunate.
it's
that
still a
Sega,
part of Sega. Sega
Yeah,
still
yeah.
exists because of
Yeah.
Sonic.
Oh yeah,
It,
you know,
it does, yeah. But
the
Sega,
greatest-
you know, when its peak, which was the '90s,
Again,
yeah,
90s and 80s were pretty. I'm gonna say this because I
It's pretty
personally like
brutal
80s
for it.
and 90s. For
Akira.
anime, storytelling, or anything, it was much more central about story than selling.
yeah. Well,
Look at modern day shows, it's all about selling. Selling a certain product because that product will be placed right in front of the
Yeah.
camera.
to me, that's what
It's like,
anime has evolved
no.
into. It's become a mass-produced, like it's no longer even art. It's a mass-produced, like especially Shaolin Jump, Shogun Jump, whatever it's called.
Yeah, that was the one thing I
Naruto, Bleach, it's all mass
Yeah,
manufactured.
especially sequels. If a show ends and the writer has the manga end on a good note, don't make a sequel no matter how much the fan base does it.
Boruto.
That's Boruto, Inuyasha, Yashahime. Again, like specific parts of the show, just some parts can be greatly emphasized by the fandom via fan fiction, fan art. That's why we have these things. Please use them instead of demanding the artist to
Noah,
make
how do
more
you feel
work.
about that?
I mean, if you look at anime like One Piece, I mean that was to this day it's still
It's still a
one
good
of the, it's
staple.
still the best one of the best animes out there by
Oh,
far.
yeah?
It is by far one of the best ones. I mean, look at how many episodes it's done so far, and I mean it's still going
still
strong.
good.
It's still going strong, even with how many books of manga are there out of it?
Over 1,000.
Oh, pretty much at this point.
Well, I
if
mean,
you
not
look
the
at it.
chapters, not the chapters.
Not the chapters, but
I mean, like of manga itself.
it's pretty
like,
big
there-
still.
it's-
It has to be in the
Hundreds
hundreds.
of
It has to be in the
Yeah,
hundreds.
it's
It has
pretty
to be in
big
the
still.
hundreds, yeah.
Yeah.
With my mic.
I mean,
My-
just look how successful that was. I
mean,
mean, look at how much
yeah.
soul. it
Yeah,
had.
and it never had a sequel. I haven't seen a single sequel of like Bleach or One Piece or anything like that so far, and
I mean,
that is
even
good.
Even now, though,
Keep the
Bleach,
good shit.
Even Bleach.
Keep the good stuff. Just keep it alone. Don't make sequels. It's like Disney movies. Once it, like Lion King. Lion King 2 was one of the exceptions because it's great to modernize it now. But like Little Mermaid 2 never needed to exist. Beauty and the Beast 2 never needed to exist. When good
Well, let's
stuff
be honest,
is done,
though, that new
keep
Beauty
it
and the Beast,
done.
though, was pretty good. The new Beauty and the Beast was actually
yeah, that
pretty good,
like
though.
remakes are fine. Reboots are fine because it allows the artists and the people that have done in the past to get more recognition. Because when you say, "Oh, it's a reboot," people will go back to the
Right.
original and watch it and then judge the new one.
The only one I didn't like was the Mulan reboot. I mean, where was the music? Like that
That's
music
the
was
soul.
that
That was the
music- That
soul.
was the soul of it. Like
An
like
anime-
all this music for it was what made it. It
Mm-hmm.
was awesome to watch it. It was amazing.
It was because of the fact. Okay, so Disney was told that due to Mulan, and this can be same with anything Japanese,
Yeah.
Chinese. It was because it seemed to be making fun of the Chinese race, and
Yeah.
it was merging Chinese with Japanese apparently, which is something I've learned don't do at all, because of the two different mythologies and the fact that they hate each other with a passion. I found out the hard way when I accidentally made a character that was part Chinese, part Japanese. It was not a
Yeah.
good thing, and I quickly changed it.
Yeah, South Park made an entire joke about the whole Winnie Pooh thing. That was really
Well, you gotta admit that was pretty funny though.
It was funny, but they're making a good point. It's funny, but
They
they're
were
making a good
though.
point.
They
They're
were making
making
a good
a-
point.
they are
about it,
making a
but
good point.
They were. I mean, in there, they were basically holding him, Winnie the Pooh, as a political prisoner. I mean,
If this
like-
isn't a political podcast,
and
but
I mean,
China-
bear in mind though, the whole point of it is because someone made fun of their leader. Apparently, he looked like Winnie the Pooh.
All right, let's get back on track here.
Yeah, let's get back on track.
Yeah, so the thing with anime, my favorite kind of anime is isekais. SAO,
Well,
Lock
I got you
Horizon.
there.
Lock Horizon.
Those aren't really isekai though, Grant.
No, they're generally isekais.
Not exactly.
You're escaping to a fantasy world from the
Those are
normal
called
world.
exakied.
It
They're-
is. Yes.
The characters are called exakied. I'm learning Japanese. Do not test me right now. I will slap you across
mean-
this table.
I will punch you, Grant. I will genuinely come over there and I will punch you.
Here's the thing. I like anime. The anime I like the most are like SAO, Lock Horizon. You know, like that whole virtual reality MMO anime. Like, I grew up with that. That was one of the first animes I watched was like...
I like them too. I'm more into the story. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. If there's a story to be told, show me, don't tell me. That's the thing that I think a lot of people like me, because I have ADHD.
Right.
Visual is our middle name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Goblin Slayer. That's another good one.
Yes.
See, fantasy D&D anime. That's my bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with Shonen Jump with Naruto, Bleach, and honestly, looking back now, it just feels so mass manufactured. There's very little world building in Naruto. There's just very little like it's all combat. Which once again,
little character development.
Again,
too.
Naruto wasn't always about combat. The combat looked amazing because it was quick, it was fast, and it was easy. It looked easy because it was basically simple. What's it called? Martial arts styles.
Yeah.
Like it literally looked like Avatar: The Last Airbender arts, like
Yeah,
martial
I
arts
get what you're
style, and
saying
then
with
moved
that.
it to Naruto, and you can see like the similarities between the two different shows because of the fact that the martial arts style is concrete into our actual world right now.
Of course.
Yeah.
Look it up. There are those same styles you can find in different martial arts styles all over the world.
Any animes you guys would recommend to first-time viewers?
I would
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
yes.
Yeah.
That is a definite one.
Oh yeah.
It is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
A little gay, but it's very, very amazing. I absolutely love it. It's probably one of the best anime that I have ever watched.
Hensing Rebridged.
Helsing Rebridged?
Yeah. And what are animes that are? What are animes you would consider to be gateway animes, gateway drugs?
I'm going to throw myself under the bus here. I'm going to throw myself under the bus, which is Inuyasha is a bit of a gateway anime because it's furry based. I'm throwing myself on the bus clearly here because that's how I got introduced to anime was Inuyasha.
Dragon Ball Z.
So wait.
Yes.
So wait,
And
wait a
Pokemon.
second. You're a furry then?
Yes. I'm a furry.
Same.
I'm surrounded by furries. I'm literally surrounded by furries here.
Well, I'm sorry. I mostly grew up around animals, so Inuyasha was really easy for me to ease into because the main character's a half demon, but not any half demon, a dog half demon.
My favorite anime. What are good animes you guys that have come out recently? You guys would recommend?
I'm gonna throw myself under the bus again and say Obey Me, because if you played the game, Obey Me the game,
Yeah.
it's a Japanese game. It's hilarious. So it's a hilarious game, by the way, and they now have made an anime due to how many people have played the game. There's like over 1,000 people playing the game currently. I'm one of them.
Again,
Holy mackerels.
anime I would recommend Chainsaw Man. That's
true.
a good one. That's a good one. What do you like? How do you feel about horror anime, dark anime?
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love dark anime. If you're looking for a really, really good one, go watch Ghost Hunt. It's absolutely horrifying.
I may personally not like dark, but sometimes it's great to watch, especially when you're sick of watching Halloween, the movie series Halloween, for 4 nights in a row, and you need something else to listen to that's just not as dark as the 70s.
You need some white noise.
Yes. I'm going to rant a bit here. I was stuck in a hotel room with these young people that I was pretty much babysitting. And they wanted to watch the Halloween movies, the 70s slasher films, Halloween, on repeat for a whole entire week. I grabbed my own headset and I just listened to dark anime just to get out of it. I just couldn't. You can hear their screams for so long before you're like, yeah, he's going to come out there.
Promise
There he is.
Neverland. Promise Neverland. That's one of my favorite dark animes of all time.
That is a really good one.
It's
too.
dark. Okay, that is literally the
What's
dark.
the one where it basically there's
Oh,
another
Parasite.
that one too, but
Parasite, yep.
there's an anime out there that basically was talking about World War II when the bombs were dropped, the atomic bombs were dropped. I don't remember the anime name. I believe it's an anime movie.
That's a really old. I think
That's
was
an
a
old,
really
yeah,
really old one.
something with Firefly. I know it's something with Firefly.
Oh, Grave of the Fireflies.
That's
That's what
the
it
one.
is.
That
That was
one's-
the one by Hayao Miyazaki.
It's so
one of his,
good.
One of his
and
more
so
really
sad.
one of his really one of his really dark ones.
It's one of his dark ones, but it's so
'Cause,
good.
In that time period with Hayao Miyazaki, he was going through a really dark time with
Right.
that.
One of the best
when
ones
he
to watch
created
if you're going through a dark time. Like,
Yes.
it's great.
Yes.
I couldn't think of it. I'm like, it's something with Firefly. I couldn't think of it, but it's
Yes.
so good.
Yeah, and two closing statements I'm going to make before we close the last two subjects. One, what makes anime so worth it, and what are the things that what's your advice to people who are first entering anime? What's it going to be like for them? Is it going to be a cultural shock, and how do you think it'll work out?
It's a wild ride. Trust me on that. It's a wild
That's
ride.
what you say. I'm gonna be honest here and say anime is not. The art style will jar you depending on which one you watch.
Yeah.
The art style will jar you at first, but when you when you hear and see the story act out, you're gonna fall in love with characters. You're gonna be sad when they go through troubles. It's gonna be nothing like right now. It's gonna be a bit of a culture shock if you're watching older anime than newer ones because of what is going on. Anime is very much culturally based. It is based on modern events, much like our TV series like South Park and other.
NCIS, stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, anime is like, I'm gonna make myself sound so old and so.
It's very passionate.
I'm gonna make myself so fucking old, and I'm one of the youngest people here in this podcast, and I'm gonna make myself sound like a fucking old.
I'm
man
26. Okay, just go.
I'm
just
gonna
go.
make
Well, I mean, if
myself
it makes you
some
feel
old.
any better, I'm 24, so.
No, that does not. I'm old.
Oh, I mean, you're not as old as Grant here.
Screw you.
But I'm gonna
Only
make
if you will do it to me first.
okay, I'm gonna make myself sound so old by saying this, but anime and anything that has a moving picture is a staple of that time period. 90s, 80s, 70s, 2000s, 2010s.
Yeah.
Music, anything that is popular now is going to change because humans change. People are born.
Cultures change.
Cultures change. It's what makes them cultures. And as such, anime is going to be different depending on what,
You're
the
in.
culture that
Because
is currently in.
there's an entire Japan is one of the most diverse cultures I've ever seen.
Besides the United States, but I don't really want to talk about how bad
To
the
be
United
honest
States
with you,
became.
about the way Japan is, though, is they're very
respectful people.
They're very respectful in a sense, though. They have what I would describe as an almost conservative, not Americans conservative.
No,
but
definitely not.
But it's a very Asian conservative.
Yeah.
And
Like they're very well
realize
dressed.
I
They're
like
they're very well kept.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say this: if you do not like the United States culture, go look at other cultures, and if you find your niche in that culture, watch and you find it. Because personally, I found out I'm more Chinese, Japanese, that side of the world culture base because of how I was brought up.
Yeah. I mean, I like America. Don't get me wrong. I like America.
I like America too. I just am like the culture there.
I like
is just
America. I
nice.
just hate the government.
Same. So last statement I want to make before we end
Let's
this.
not to go with government now.
Last state I want to make the statement. Where does the anime going in the future? Are you guys psyched for it?
I'm hoping for more isekai, quite frankly.
What direction do you see it going in?
Personally, for me, I'm seeing currently now, since new movies are coming out, new shows are coming out, and I
Yeah.
see the art style and storytelling become more diverse compared to what it was before. I'm kind of more excited for it because,
Yeah.
I mean, what new stories people going to bring? Because I've seen mythological stories take a different turn.
Oh,
and direction.
mythology anime is the best. How to pick up girls in is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? That's a good one.
Yeah, like
You know the one I'm talking about, how to be an
Yeah,
adventurer.
like
That's a
Chinese
Yeah,
good
we
one.
all know Grant. We all know.
Chinese mythology, Greek mythology. I've seen a Native American mythology, Japanese anime, and I'm like, holy mackerels! Like,
Well, do you think Japanese anime creators understand how Americans think, and that's how they will sometimes market their anime?
especially since
There is
if you
definitely
look at it,
some.
America actually consumes a bit more anime than anyone else.
Well, let's be honest
Besides
here. I mean, we do have a
Japanese,
pretty
besides
big, we do have a pretty large population, though, and I mean, especially with the pandemic.
And
You
there was
know,
nothing
I
else
mean,
better
it
to do.
skyrocketed through it. It's,
Yeah.
Oh,
anime
frick.
skyrocketed after.
What's it called?
during
What's the
pandemic.
anime? What's that anime network called that has all the anime on it?
Aniplex.
Crunchyroll, Funimation.
Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Let's face it, that entire channel got most of us through the pandemic.
Yeah,
Let's just
it
agree
did.
that.
It was, and to be completely honest, if this is the direction that it's heading after the pandemic is mostly over, we're not completely out of it, people. Do not think we're completely out of it. It's going to make a comeback. Eventually. Please, God, do not make it come now. We just got out of it this once. Please let 2023 be much nicer.
Please don't make me get locked up on a base again. I do not need to be in the army during COVID. Please don't let that happen again.
Please.
Amen.
And so, again, it's going to, due to how many stories we were stuck, how many creators have you seen take the anime art style and go on YouTube and create their own style with it, their own stories? Because I'm one of those people.
Very rarely.
I mean, technically, after Last Airbender, they liked anime and they made their own.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
If that's the direction that style is broadcasted in different parts of the world, when will we stop calling it anime and just call it, oh, it's a cartoon?
Yeah.
That's what I'm excited about. That it's starting to slowly become not anime anymore. It's becoming cartoons. I saw a Japanese cartoon on just a cartoon site that showed nothing Japanese about it. It was just basically a United States cartoon, and it just broadcast the first episode. It was weird. I don't know if they did it on purpose, but if that's what it's coming to, sign me up.
So we're all hopeful for the future of anime here?
Yep.
And we're all a bunch of freaking weebs. Till next time, folks, stay sane.
Not that bad of a weeb.